There we go. Hi everyone. Welcome back, asteroids. Today we're gonna be playing just a little bit of a different kind of game. It's called Band End Theater. It's a game where, well, as it says, we get to watch as we only get bad ends. Very sad. I don't think there is a good ending, if I remember right. But it's multiple branches, multiple bad endings. So how about let's get started, shall we? Let's enter the Bad End Theater. Welcome to Bad End Theater. On this stage, we shall be toying with fate. You will make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select whichever doll you'd like. Let's go with... demon, human. Let's go with the human doll. Hello everyone, thank you for stopping by. You control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy. You're just a little guy, minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? And this is how the game plays. It's visual novel-esque in that we have different branching choices we can use. As you can see, attacking unlocks the hostile personality, but let's be nice. Hey there, Ryan. Hope you're doing well, and your stream so far is going well. Thank you very much, Soul. Hi. I'm glad that you can be here. Welcome. You just came to the start of the Bad End Theater. I hope you can stick with me as we watch our heroes go through some very tragic events. Let's play nice, however. You try to make friends with a demon doll, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless. You found your very first bad ending. But don't worry. I always have to stop by one of your streams. I'll definitely stick around. Thank you, Soul. You found your very first bad ending, but don't worry. The story needs not end here. Let's reset the stage. Try again. This time, try controlling the other doll. Alright, look, we're the demon. You control the demon doll. You're a fierce looking guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? Let's play nice. You and the human doll are able to set aside your differences and become friends. Why, this isn't a bad ending at all. I should have written out this possibility, it's just not suited to my theater whatsoever. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behavior in advance. As you just saw, these behaviors will automatically be set to what you chose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on and off without having to replay from that doll's perspective. Yes, my theater actually doubles as a puzzle game. Now try turning the doll's behavior on and off to see the different outcomes. So a human doll that is hostile, and a demon doll that is wicked. But we play, and this is another fun thing about the Bad End Theater. We get to choose the personalities, and we get to choose the point of view that we want to play as. So for this, let's choose the point of view of the human. We're gonna attack it. You both attack each other at once and die together. End of tutorial. Reset the stage. But say we were the human doll and hostile but not wicked demon. We're gonna attack it. You kill the demon doll in cold blood. Last but not least, what if the human doll was hostile, but we were not a wicked demon? Let's play nice. You try to make friends with the human doll, but it kills you. Set the stage. And last but not least, if we are wicked, how you interact with the demon? We'll attack it. You kill the demon doll in cold blood, how ruthless. And that's basically the gist of how this game goes. Yep, we got it. The game saves your progress automatically, so just relax and collect all of the bad endings at your own pace. Yeah, so, you know, you and I were really good guys. We try to get good endings typically the best endings for everyone. This game's all about getting only the bad endings. And so we have our 4 intrepid heroes. We have the hero, the maiden, the underling, and the overlord. As you can see, all of their behaviors here are locked, so we can only start things where else but at the beginning. Let's start things off with the hero. You're the hero. You like to think of yourself as pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary. Aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You are told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped, and is likely being held captive at the nearby demon overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople though. You were born to play this role. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden. But demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. But let's just flee like a coward right now. Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. But you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all on your own. If you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings, you'll take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all. This is your job. Ooh, after a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You're faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Let's just be diplomatic. Hey, will you let me in? You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden, but the Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Was she really never here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord says that she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's come in here in forever, at least, that she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. Hello, Ryan. Oh, you got another outfit. Cute. Oh, thank you. I'm Minaru-chan. I said that's why it's like a goober. Oh, you're fine. So, yeah, I figured since we're playing, essentially, an overseer, a god looking down on these people, I figured why not and use my celestial skin again. Just like how stars look over you, we're looking over these people, and I don't want to say toying with their lives, but toying a little bit. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. And we unlocked the useless hero ending. Well, since that was our first ending, let's say we go for another. We'll play the diplomatic hero. Useless hero ending? Gosh. Yep. What? Let's do the diplomatic hero. Let's see it from the perspective of the Demon Lord. You are the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal anyway? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes they'll leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing if you're being quite honest with yourself. You don't really understand the politics of it. Ethan's hero, OMG. But you remind yourself everyone's just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to a higher standard like that. Exactly, break the mold. One of your underlings walks into your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time. Especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point. But the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What to do? What to do? Tell them to get back to work. Let's give them the day off. Why not? You tell them to go take a break from the stifling castle atmosphere. Refresh their dark soul. A day off should be fine every once in a while. They thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the Overlord sure is great. This was me earlier today too. I had nothing better to do, so I took a nap. You're awakened by one of your underlings. A hero wishes to speak with you. He inquires about a maiden who was rumored to be here, but you've never seen her. Humans don't visit often or ever really. Oh, so now see? Now we're at the other side of all things. When once we were the hero, now we see things from the Demon Lord. As the hero takes his leave, you wonder why he totally trusted you there. Heroes traditionally kill demons. This guy seemed like he was bad at his job in your opinion. Whatever, you're still feeling sleepy, so you go right back to your nap. One of your underlings is tearing your throat out. You try to struggle, but you can tell you've already mortally wounded. What have you done to deserve this kind of ending? You remember now. You gave this one a day off. And this is how it repays you? You die wondering if you could have done anything to prevent this. And so we've gotten the Assassinated Overlord ending. But as we pull back the curtains once again, let's keep the diplomatic hero. But now let's see. Where was the maiden in all this? What role did she play in our story of tragedy? You're a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. You're told that you're fated to be captured by the overlord one day, because you're a beautiful young girl. Demon overlords apparently love capturing those. You think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone. But maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity. Who knows? You're in a church. You pray to your god, asking why you have been born into this role of maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You are, for lack of a better word, impatient. Hi everyone who's just joining in. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were to just hurry up and get captured already. We have an eager young lass on our hands here. You leave a note and venture forth to find a demon, just to, you know, see what happens. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. Let's just introduce ourselves. They haven't done anything yet. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting. A lot. How painful. This plan of yours was completely stupid, you think? Why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You aren't angry or anything, of course. This is all your fault for trusting a demon, not to devour you on sight. Ouchies. Ouchies indeed, soul. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon, until you are no more. And that was the Consumed Maiden ending. But as we pull back the curtains again, we have one last character to see to start off with. The Underling. Actually, if you do want to see, these are the branching trees for all of the different endings. The Underling. Quite indeed. So each path, you know, you have to set different personality types to get to all these different endings. So we'll just find out how it all goes. Let's go back to our heroes. The Underling. A lot of branches indeed. A lot of branches indeed. I think the Underling has the best music, just saying. You are a demon underling. in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come around all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyways. It's a lot of standing in one place, staring into nothing. You feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She's surprisingly cool with it. Nice. You set out on your adventure outside the castle. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the paths to a nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. Oh. We were the underling that bid her all along. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask. You consider your options. Let's not gobble her up. Let's hear her out. You're in a good mood today, and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You hadn't guessed it would even be possible to understand each other before now. The maiden's going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you got nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. They seem to be getting along just fine. You decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current Overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out. And being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we skip it instead?" Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. She's actually not so bad, you guys. Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you. Before you can ask what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the Overlord really has no place in our castle. You understand, right? Their claws tied in around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things like this end. This is a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend. You tell them. They slit your throat in response. And that was the end of our faithful underling. But as we pull back the curtains once more, let's see here. Let's do a dutiful hero. Not a actually, let's do a polite maiden with let's go back to maiden. Yes. You're a maiden. We already know all this one, we don't need to say it again. Let's introduce ourselves again. The demon doesn't seem to have really been listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agree to take you to their master nonetheless. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. Turns out she never had any plans to capture maidens, or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out or something awful would happen. Then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. You asked the Overlord what you should do to be a more suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home. Stop worrying about destiny so much. She makes it sound so simple. The Overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The Overlord saves many secrets about stories about demons with you. And little by little, you realize They may not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send out a hero after them. You realize that must be why you'd never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You always thought demons were violent, unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. He may be different, but really they're just trying to live their lives, the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a little better. But maybe everything I've said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. You kind of like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with this Overlord has been smooth. You feel butterflies in your stomach. Oh, is our fair maiden having a crush on our demon lord? As you think that, a hero enters the room. You're surprised to see him at first, until you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Oh my, indeed. Confused, the hero asks you what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. The hero expresses relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you give her a little wave as you exit the room. It will be back soon. You're about halfway back to the village when you feel something is off. Unable to shake your concern, you look back over your shoulder. You stop in your tracks. The castle is engulfed in flames. Is the Overlord alright? You can't return to the village like this. You have to know. You have to be sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stopping you. You scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment, you rush into the burning castle to find her. You quickly reach the Overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle is too hot to touch. You're too weak to force it open. You pound your fists against the door helplessly. What were you thinking? This is all because you'd forgotten your role. Only a hero could pull this kind of thing off. You start to cough. Smoke is too thick. You can hardly breathe. You realize you haven't got much time now. You desperately head towards the stairs to save yourself. But the fire spread faster than you expected. You won't make it outside. You can't help but laugh. What a joke! A maiden saving the Overlord? If you just stay true to your role, things wouldn't have ended like this. This is exactly the kind of punishment you deserve. You let the demon fire cleanse your rotten soul. And so we got ourselves the selfless maiden ending. Let's see how things were from the Overlord's perspective. Oh gosh, oh no, I know, very tragic. Oopsies. You awake to a knock on your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. He says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough. How can I become more maiden-like? You don't really understand the question. You think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. Just go home and worry about it, you tell her. The maiden seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists that she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks into your eyes. This is the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. Oh ho ho! It seems that this love goes both ways. You wonder what to say. Let's just let her stay for a while. You can't bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not at all what she expected them to be. You're glad that she seems to have an open mind about these things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as to not agitate them and get heroes sent after you. That explains why the people of my village have been left unharmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We are very grateful. You're surprised to hear her thank you. You've always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed, despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joked that maybe you've been lying to her this whole time, and that you're actually super evil. The maiden laughs, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. The people in her village are a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. Oh, trust me, Demon Lord. She's into you. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway, this time a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden who was rumored to have been captured. Captured? Not at all. I only wanted to meet with the Overlord. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything explained, the hero expresses relief this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks her to return to the village. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised that he had one of those to begin with. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. But let them go. You're certain she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust. With the hero and maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a little while. Until your door slams shut. Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed in flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but something's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. Are you being usurped? They have zero foresight. What castle will they rule from if this one burns? You don't want to believe that your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those ungrateful bastards. You choke on the thick black smoke from the fire. You can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. You'll see them in hell. Oh dang, quite indeed. Isn't it very interesting seeing all the same story from the different perspectives? Let's do diplomatic, polite, hero. We've seen all of this. You know, all of this. Flee like a coward. The Overlord and Maiden seem to be in the middle of some casual conversation when you barge in. You all look at each other in surprising confusion. This is no time to hesitate. The Maiden explains that she was never actually captured. Pretty dangerous thing of her to do, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. He asks her to return to town with you, to reassure everyone of your safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you casually exit the castle. You try to make conversation with the Maiden, but she's been pretty quiet since leaving the Overlord's room. Is she shy? She suddenly stops in her tracks and you turn her head to ask what the deal is. Oh. The castle is engulfed in flames. You can't help but feel relieved you got the maiden out of there when you did, but she suddenly takes off towards the burning castle. Panic sets in and you follow to try to stop her. The smoke is so thick, you've already lost sight of her. What is she thinking? It's too dangerous to continue. You feel hopeless. You stand alone at the castle gates. Your body won't allow you to take another step forward. No. Going in there would be suicide. You'll return to the villagers and tell them there's nothing you could do. You were too late. The maiden was claimed by the demons. First he's useless, now he's a bystander. Poor guy. Let's go see the underling again. Let's hear her out. Alright, let's kill the Overlord. You tell them you're just joking, and clarify that you're totally in it with the win it. They say you're always terrible at jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'd be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield of faux confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figured they'd just lock her in her room and set it on fire. A stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on. And while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest you play the assassin. You really don't want it to come down to this. You can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better plans. You and her friends turn to notice a pair of humans have overheard your entire conversation. They take off into the castle. Are they headed to the Overlord's room? Fuck! The Overlord will kill you for sure if she found out you're conspiring to take her out. You dash into the castle after the humans. Sure enough, the maiden's already frantically telling the Overlord everything. You shout that the humans are liars. Your friends soon arrive to back you up. Except they don't. Instead, they blame the whole thing on you. They cry that it was all your idea, and that they were just going with the flow, too scared to refuse your crazy plan. You can't believe they tell the Overlord such a blatant lie. You always knew better than to trust them. You're the one who didn't have a choice here. You all shout at each other until the Overlord demands silence. Regardless of who led this conspiracy. Betrayal. I have no choice but to punish everyone, to keep you all in your place. Crushed beneath my heel. She sounds tough, but lately all she does is sleep. You doubt her strength. You hear your traitor's friends mutter something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly the door slams shut. You're trapped in here with the Overlord and the two humans. And then the room bursts into flames. You pound on the door, screaming curses at those who betrayed you. The hero joins you, vowing to slay the lot of them. You wish he'd get the chance. The Overlord grabs you by the throat. You cry for mercy. You're forced into this mess. You're sure now that they would have killed you if you sat with her. But the Overlord doesn't hear your pleas. She drives her claws into your chest. At least she made it quick. The traitor underling. Let's do dutiful and heroic. That's not polite. Who is hungry? And a tyrant. Let's be the maiden again. Shout for a hero to come save us. Oh well. Right. There you go. Demon's put off by your son shouting and asks you to keep it down. You apologize. They seem more confused and hostile, which totally catches you off guard. You tell the demon your name, explain that you're a maiden from the village. She lectures the underling that brought you here, who was apparently told not to leave their post. You wonder what cruel punishment awaits them. Surprised she lets them off easy. The underling is dismissed and the Overlord turns to you. Looking very interested. But then a hero barges into the room. Oh, he's covered in blood this time. His clothes are stained by a dark liquid. It's dripping from his weapons too. You realize it must be demon blood. Something horrible has happened. The hero suddenly dashes towards the Overlord, sword drawn. Ooh, do we do nothing or do we protect her? I'll give you guys the choice for this one. Protect the Demon Lord or just watch? Protect her? Absolutely. You selflessly throw yourself in front of the hero's blade, acting as a shield. It's funny. Protect her. You think you never could have imagined this would be the way that you die. The roles are all switched around, but it feels right to you somehow. You're glad your destiny turned out to be saving someone rather than being saved yourself. As your vision fades, you hope that everything turns out alright for your new friend. Sacrificial Maiden. It's very sad. But this is after all the bad end theater. And we still have 32 endings to go. Let's do heroic, possessive, but disloyal. It's a lot of endings for sure. As you think that, a hero enters the room. The hero suddenly dashes towards the Overlord, sword drawn. Will do nothing. The hero's blade pierces the Overlord. She lets out a horrible scream. You flinch. The Overlord is slain. The hero smiles and holds out his hand to you, saying, "It's time to go home." His glove is drenched in blood. Hesitantly, you take his hand. The hero guides you through the castle, past the corpse of his enemies. You try to keep your eyes at your feet. There's blood everywhere. Shut your eyes, but even then, you can't escape the smell. All of this was because of you, wasn't it? You exit the castle, and the hero leads you back to the village. Everyone celebrates the hero's great triumph over the demons. You feel sick, but you take part in the festivities regardless. Complacent maiden. The Overlord objects to the hero's suggestion. You tell her you plan on returning soon, but she isn't having it. You feel nervous. The hero puts on a brave face for you. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all. And if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You leave me no choice. The Overlord suddenly jumps the hero. She tears into him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in your throat. You watch because you can't look away. Had she really been lying to you all along? You wonder. Is this your punishment for questioning the divine plan? The Overlord approaches you now. You back yourself into a corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord in a horrible way like this was your destiny after all. But the Overlord stops, or rather, someone has stopped her. Whatever held back your scream before doesn't stop you this time. The Overlord is being ripped to shreds by one of her demon underlings. You think you recognize them, but it's hard to tell with all the blood. Everyone stopped moving now. The room is silent, save for the underling's heavy breathing. You thank them for what they've done, even though it was awful. You feel you've been rescued from a terrible fate. They look at you, confused for a moment, but then puff out their chest. You should probably go home. This place is dangerous. You follow their advice and make your way out of the castle. You decide to never leave home again for the rest of your life. Escaped Maiden, NB. Dude. Tyrant. Antisocial. But dutiful. Let's bravely slaughter the evil creatures. You make quick work of the vile creatures that stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle front gates. You're faced with an army that is all. We're gonna cut through them. Gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are all evil demons anyways. The world is much safer with them gone. That's what you tell yourself while you kill one after another. The Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing, murdering all her soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance, a convincing act, but she won't be fooled. The maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can see only one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You got strong from the horde of demons you took down before this final battle. The Overlord is almost no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no signs of the maiden within its walls. Just as you suspected, she must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. A great evil has been banished from this world, but what does that matter if you're too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Surely, your great victory will be celebrated. The failed hero. Let's do polite, disloyal, but that. And let's stay as the hero. Feel like a coward. Ask if they'll let us in. You're talking about assassinating their Overlord. This proves that you demons really are foul. We have to tell her about this. You don't understand what the maiden is thinking. The world is better off with less demons. They're all cold, ruthless creatures that should be destroyed. And those same creatures have just noticed you eavesdropping. The maiden takes off into the castle and you have no choice but to follow. You burst into Overlord's room. The maiden frantically tries to communicate what you've just overheard. A demon underling barges in next, calling you liars. It's followed by the group from the entrance, who shifts the blame back onto the little ones. These demons only care about themselves. How low can they be? You begin shouting at them, and the whole room dissolves into noise, until the Overlord yells for everyone to shut their traps. He threatens them with violence. This Overlord is no better than her subjects. You grip your sword tightly. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door. You glance around for another exit, but there isn't one. You have a terrible feeling. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. What kind of demonic magic is this? The underling pounds on the door, upset that it's been betrayed. You join it, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. Next moment, the overlord has taken hold of the underling, is crying for mercy. She thrusts her claws into the underling's chest and lets out a horrible scream. You back away. You won't be the next target of her rage. She continues to dig and twist her claws into its limp body. You no longer watch. You look to the maiden. She's crying, hands clasped together in prayer. To have faith in a time like this, you envy her. The two of you, the overlord and the underling's corpses, are all consumed by flames. The resigned hero ending. Let's stage once more. This time, let's see everything from the overlord's perspective. You'd love to have all the conversation in the world with your new friend, but having a human girl there will definitely cause trouble. You put on your mean face and tell her to get lost, but the maiden turns out to be very stubborn. Gosh, that is so sad. I know, Minoru-chan, it's super sad. Against her better judgment, you let her hang out for a little while longer. Let them go. Cartoon is so cute, but the endings are, yeah. You've almost fallen asleep when the maiden and hero burst into your room, frantically trying to communicate something to you. You're told that a group of demons is plotting to assassinate you. You're not surprised. How nice of the humans to care, though. One of your underlings barges in next, shouting that the humans are liars. They're followed by another group of demons, crying that everything was that first underling's plan. Everyone's shouting over each other now. It's very annoying. You yell for all of them to shut their traps. You have no doubt that your servants would let their ambition cloud their judgment and lead them to try to take your throne. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone, keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. Saying that made you feel very overlord-like. You aren't sure if you have the strength to back it up, though. Lately, all you do is sleep. Same. The group of demons start muttering something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly slam your door shut. You, the maiden, the hero, and one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underling pounds on the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. The hero pounds on the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. So this is how you'll die. Burned alive in your own room, by those you thought you could trust. You'd have expected this from a bunch of idiot demons, though. You notice the maiden crying. Why does she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed the moment you spoke to her. You wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration, you don't even notice that you've grabbed the underling those traitors landed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying that they were dragged into this plot, knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. They cry that they didn't want to have to kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. But let's forgive them. You release the underling. Killing them wouldn't make you feel any better. Besides, they've already gotten their punishment. You'll all burn together. That's the Overlord's true ending. That's the true ending for the Overlord? Stop. Before you're taken back to reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True end, you say to yourself. What was the point of all my efforts? If the true ending is this terrible. Gosh, these endings. You must have forgotten where you were. This is Bad End Theater. Is the pain setting in? Oh, But she should have been well aware of what you've been shown when you entered this place. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point, you grew attached to my little Cass. You started to relate to their flaws, their plights. You started wishing for their happiness. But you're not gonna find that here in my theater. My lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Anyways, I hope you'll pardon the interruption. You're making great progress. The choice to continue on to the next ending is always yours. I'll leave you to it, dear guest. And so, that was the Demon Lord's true ending. So this one right here is all the true ending. Alright, but let's get the true ending for everyone then. She gonna kill it as retribution? It continues to cry and make excuses, but the Overlord does nothing. You're surprised she lets it go. Are demons capable of mercy? You guess it doesn't matter now. You'll all burn together. And that is the true ending of the hero. No matter the perspective, the true ending remains the same. That's what makes it true. You couldn't resist seeing it for yourself though, could you? I wonder what will happen when you collect them all. Will you give in to despair or... Let's get the true ending for all of them. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of suspicious demons congregating. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. You have to warn her. The hero shakes his head. He says that this is the true nature of demons. The world is better off with less of them. You're surprised they're a part of this evil plot. They seem so nice. The other demons come in right after them, saying the whole thing was the first underling's idea. Everyone's shouting at each other now. It's really stressing you out. You are relieved when the Overlord demands silence. She threatens them with violence, and you think she is very Overlord-like in this moment. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the little one behind. You watch as it pounds on the door in distress. Have they locked you all in? You have a bad feeling about this. And thinking that must have jinxed it, because now the room is engulfed in flames. If only you had ignored these demons before, you and the hero would have stumbled into the situation. If you had just pretended not to hear them, if you left as you were told, only the Overlord would have been killed. But you couldn't have done that. That path isn't an option for you. You think that no matter what, you'll always strive for the path where everyone survives. It must exist. It simply must. The Overlord sees their underling. They beg for their life. You pray. You don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord spares the underling. You feel relieved, but does it make any difference? Will you all burn together? And that was the true end of the maiden. An end like this. You want to answer the maiden's prayers. You decided to find a way to save everyone. But retracing the path you've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be any room to avoid a bad ending. Is there really nothing you can do to keep them all from getting killed in the end? If there's nothing you can do by acting from within their story, maybe it's time to take things into your own hands. Ho ho! And now there's a fifth. You boldly insert yourself into their story, and use your incredible power to warp everyone's safety. The Underling, the Overlord, the Maiden, and the hero. You didn't know you could do that, but what's going on here? You take a moment to get a good look at yourself. You are... you. But why are you pitch black? You feel that this body doesn't accurately represent you, but you move past it. The hero, maiden, underling, and overlord have been staring at you too. They look like they don't really know what they're supposed to do right now. You guess that's because you're usually the one guiding them. What will you say to them? Hi guys. You smile awkwardly, introduce yourself. The maiden is the first to respond. My prayers have been answered. You must be... her god? No. You are merely the player. If there was any god here, they'd be the final boss. That's just how these role-playing games go. Now you realize what the real true ending must be. Now. Enough of this. I admit, I've been encouraging you all along. But a self-insert story? How passe. You watch helplessly as tragedy descends from the heavens. You didn't honestly believe you were the only one who could force your way onto the stage, did you? I am the narrator, storyteller, god of this world. Call me Tragedy if you'd like. Darkness envelops your party. You don't mind if I send each of them back to relive one of their many bad endings, right? You are alone in the darkness with me, Tragedy. I sincerely hope you've been enjoying your time in my theater, though I can't abide you stealing the show without permission. It's quite disrespectful. I'm sick of all these bad endings. Then frankly, you should never have come to a place called Bad End Theater. Haven't you already been over this? You think defeating me might just be the only way to see a better ending? It's all that's left for you, isn't it? Well, this does sound like it could be entertaining. Show me what you've got. Time to fight God. The stage is set for your final battle against me, the god of this world. What will you do? How will you fight against tragedy itself? I'd love to see it. We're in defend. You try closing off your heart to protect yourself, but it doesn't make you feel any better. Oh, is that all? You'll never defeat me like that. Wait, let me try that again. Defend. Jen, you're out of class tier. Behold, my beautiful tragic tales. Doesn't seeing them all again make your heart ache? You witnessed 16 of my painstakingly crafted endings. Your heart does indeed ache for these characters. How could you want to put an end to all this? Do you truly care for them that much? Hi, Yumi. They're still suffering backstage, you know. It's a shame they couldn't make it here to the end of the world. That's right. You came here to save them. You can't do this alone. Alright, everyone. Time to summon our friends to help us. Call. Summon. You find the hero in his home, hunched over a sewing table. Your sudden intrusion scares the hell out of the poor guy. Are you some kind of demon? Explain that no, you're not an Eben, you're... How can you explain it in a way the hero can understand? Instead, you ask what he's sewing. Oh, this? I craft all my own hero gear. He senses pride in his hobby. You wonder if the costumes are what attracted him to the role of hero. Would you like some clothes? You don't seem to be wearing any. You remember the state of your body and decide that yes, some clothes from the hero would be nice. He is overjoyed by your answer. Apparently his outfits are too gaudy for other townsfolk, so no one else wants them. The true end for the hero suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change his fate. I can make a living as a tailor rather than a hero? Please, tell me what I can do to reach that dream. The hero will now fight alongside you. I agreed to follow you, but I didn't expect to face something like this. The hero has arrived. We really couldn't have a final boss without him. You're the one who's been killing us. Murderer! I couldn't truly call myself a hero until I see you defeated. We'll see about that. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Ugh. Willpower. Your reign of terror ends here, Tragedy. I refuse to give in. The hero uses his willpower to overcome tragedy. We're gonna summon our next friend. So much HPG, he has infinite. You happen to find the maiden as she exits the church, her heart set on meeting a demon. Perfect timing. She approaches you, having already taken notice of your odd form. Excuse me, are you a traveler? I've never seen anyone like you before. Tanky, very tanky. You explain that no, you're not a traveler. Well, maybe you are in a sense, you've come all this way. The maiden regards you with excited curiosity. Then, perhaps you might be a demon. I was hoping I would meet one today. You think of all the terrible fates that hope would bring about. She is the catalyst of the story after all. My role as a maiden is to be captured by the Overlord, but you see, I'm grown so tired of waiting. You remember this part. She wanted to understand her role better, and so... You ask what it is that she's really hoping to gain from this. The maiden is confused by your question. Perhaps it was as simple as wanting to reach the place she felt like she belonged. The true end for this maiden suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change your fate. If there's something I can do to find fulfillment, then please, guide me. The maiden will now fight alongside you. What is this horrible creature? You wound me, dear maiden. Is tragedy really such a terrible thing to behold? I remember now. I remember all the awful things you put us through. Then this should be familiar to you as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. And so she will fight back with hope. Our true endings do exist. They simply must. The maiden hopes with all of her heart to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. Now, we summon our friend the Underling. You approach the gates of the Overlord Castle. The Underling is on guard duty as you expected. They call out to you. The other demon guard is sound asleep. Hey, you're a pretty weird looking intruder. What do you want? You explain that no, you're not an intruder. Although you're definitely intruding into their story right now. You tell the Underling you've come to save them from tragedy. Okay. Try saving me from boredom first. I hate this job. The Underling snickers. You ask what kind of job they'd rather have. It'd be best if I didn't have to work at all. I just want to live a carefree life and never get bossed around or picked on. You think of the Underling's friends who had bullied them into assassination plot, only to betray them in the end. If they kept better company, maybe they wouldn't feel so restless. The true end for the Underling suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change their fate. So there's a way that even work can be fun? Sounds fake, but I'll tag along with you just in case. The Underling will now fight alongside you. Wait, what the fuck? You didn't say anything about a boss battle? The Underling. You must be desperate to call on such a unreliable ally. Huh. If I beat this guy up, all my problems will be over. Oh, but it won't be that easy. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Get that big boss. Yeah, no, we're getting him. He will attack with tenacity. Knock me down and I'll just come back stronger. The Underling uses their tenacity to overcome tragedy. And so we summon our last friend. You enter the Overlord's room, relieved to see the fire contained to the torches on the wall. When you close the door behind you, the Overlord rises from her slumber. Who are you? Have you come to reside in my castle and serve me? You explain that no, you're not here to serve her. More like you've come to do her a favor. You ask why she spends all day sleeping instead of commanding her demon army. She laughs in response. Many of my underlings certainly think I should be more aggressive to humans, like my father before me. His quest for revenge was endless and self-perpetuating. There's a reason I had to destroy him. Can't help but think it's a little too late in the game to be getting some new backstory. I have no interest in waging war on the humans. I merely wish to be left alone, to live a peaceful, indulgent life in my castle. You realize she must actually be very lonely, only surrounded by soldiers instead of friends. No wonder she gets so attached to the maiden. The true end for the Overlord suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. My own attempts at peace have been rather imperfect. If you offer a solution, then very well, I will follow you. The Overlord will now fight alongside you. I see. So this is tragedy. Ah, you brought the Overlord. I don't stand a chance now. You prevented me from attaining peace for long enough. Prepare to die. I hope you're prepared to face your deaths as well. Now that the whole party's here, can you solve my final puzzle? Which combination of behaviors will open the path to your true endings? Show me. Willpower, hope, tenacity, and ambition. I'll reach my true ending with my own power. The Overlord uses her ambitious nature to overcome tragedy. This is it. With everyone's hearts united, you take aim towards your best possible futures. You all unleash one final attack to destroy tragedy once and for all. Oh, I was right? Oh, I didn't know that. You've done it. You managed to defeat me. A tragic ending for tragedy itself. I love it. I must thank you all for fulfilling your roles perfectly. Thank you, hero. Thank you, maiden. Thank you, underling. Thank you, Overlord. Enough of this nonsense. We've defeated you, so die already. Don't worry. I'll be making my exit shortly. Finally, thank you, most of all. We couldn't have made it here without you. Yes. My bad end theater did contain a truly good ending after all. I apologize for antagonizing you for so long. I wanted to deliver a satisfying story. Was I able to do it, I wonder? I'm satisfied. Are you guys satisfied? I feel like we're all satisfied. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Happy endings shouldn't always come easily. Reality is not so kind. But you've earned this one. Here's your true ending. Alright. Our hero is, you know, he hung up the hero costumes and he now sews. Oh, I do give him give him pads. Our underling is a fashion model? Our maiden and demon lord are friends. Oh, they live together now. This is precious. A lot of suffering just to get here. The music slap's really good. Very precious. This is our true end. I think it's time that we exit the theater. Alright everyone, well that was Bad End Theater. We didn't get all of the bad endings, but we got the true ending, so I think we can call it stop here. Did you guys like it? How was that? That was fun for sure, I'm glad to hear. It was certainly a journey. Let's see. I didn't get all the music, that's fine. It's always a good time hanging with you during your stream. Thank you, Sol. And with that, you guys, I think we're gonna call it a night here. I only plan to just stream this game. But, you know, maybe there'll be more streams in the future. Though, do keep a lookout for this Thursday. I do have a collab coming up with Viva Vibe, so that's gonna be very exciting. I'll see you guys then, and maybe any streams in between. Have a very wonderful day. Have a very wonderful night. Roger that. I'll do my best to be there. Thank you. Thank you. And as always, everyone, may the stars be your guiding light. Good night.